Hello everyone, my name is Jason, I'm a channeler, and I'm here for a daily dose of hope, day 230. And so, hello everyone, nice to meet you and nice to see you again. Um, Let me make sure, I don't know if the video is working or not. We'll see. So, daily dose of hope. What is a daily dose of hope? It's just that. It's just a daily dose of hope because the energies on our planet are increasing and they will start to increase. Okay, we have video. They'll start to increase, or they have been increasing, and they will continue to increase as we move along. And so that's, yeah. Um, I wasn't able to come on yesterday. I had a concert last night and get back until about midnight or so. But yeah, thanks for all the well wishes for the concert. I think it went as well as it could have gone. Um, yeah, I think it. I think. I think it went as well as it could have gone. Yeah. So a daily dose of hope. What is a daily dose of hope? A daily dose of hope is uh, a daily dose of hope to keep you on the neutral path, to stop from going into the polarities that are all over the place at the moment. And it's usually in three parts. We just have a little bit of a talk, and then a little bit of a channeling, and then a pocket of peace, which is a guided meditation. So, hey, Anne Marie. Um, I guess what I wanted to talk about today were two things. One of them was the idea of inversion. Now, so I'm a composer. I write music. So inversion means something to us, like when we have a melody and we invert the melody. And but so yeah, but this type of inversion I'm talking about is this is the yin and yang type of inversion, where, for example, right now there's an inversion of many different things, like the idea of oneness is being inverted, right? So we are all one, we're all connected, but there's this idea of yeah, communism, right? Which is an inversion of oneness. That's not real oneness. That's uh, fake oneness, because it's oneness where you are controlled by someone. There's someone above you, so you're not really one. Because if there's someone ruling you, then you're never one, right? So that's an inversion of a universal idea that we're all one. And then the idea that, for example, this female and male idea that's very popular now, one or the other. Now, um, just as a disclaimer, I have members of my family. I think it would be a great uncle that turned into a great aunt. I have no qualms about that. That's fine. People do, whatever they want to do. That's fine. But I do have qualms with it being something that is um, it's like the PCR test, something that's being broadcast into something bigger than it actually is. I think we all should have the freedom to choose whatever we want to do in our lives. Um, but I think what's happening now is there's a focus on this idea of female and male and this whole gender idea. And the idea is that we're neither, right? We're spirit. We're not one or the other. We're probably both all the time, right? And that we come down here into separation, right? But then there's this inversion of this idea where you have to be both or one or the other. You have to change in this body, and it's just like associating with the body, like just assuming like you're a body, and so everything has to be done within the body. And that's the whole inversion idea. It's all of these things are spiritual ideas. It's not a physical thing. It's not about like our bodies have to be changed one or the other. We are both. We're already both. We come down here as one side to see what it's like, to experience it. That's the whole point. And we already know what it's like to be one. We already know all that stuff. We come down here to experience separation and then to go into oneness, right? And but what I wanted to speak about was this inversion. So like for example, if you go into the one side of the yin and yang, you go into the yang side or you go into the yin side. And then so a lot of people will go into one side, and then they'll say, well, I'm going to go against this side, and then they go all the way to the other side of, and they're just like basically doing the same thing, because it's all the same. It's just extremes, and those extremes are pit against each other. And so this side just inverts what this side's doing. But so the whole idea is that we just come to the center and understand that's where true power is. If we're in this inversion idea, or reaction, interaction, oh, this, we have to fight against this, we're going to lose. We'll always lose, because it's not about fighting. It's always about going in this center path. and and the ideas, yeah, so and all of these different ideas, so and it's kind of a completely different idea about what you want to do. People do what they want to do, what they feel is right for them, and that's cool, that's perfect. It's the idea is that when it becomes um, a societal pressure, I guess, that's when things start to get, it's like, no, 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 we all have choice, we all have the ability to do what we want to do, but we don't need a government coming in and forcing ideas on us. We will figure it out. we know what we're doing. We don't need someone to tell us or to preach to us about that, because it's been going on since the beginning of time. I mean, you look at ancient Greece. Come on. It's nothing new. Um, and and I also think that this whole idea, this whole gender issue, is being built up from that whole communist idea. I mean, that's their playbook. That's what they do. They'll raise up a group that's not very, uh, I guess, a group that not necessarily downtrodden, but it's not. Uh, it's not the major group, and they'll build up that group, and of course, because that group is very different from the other parts of the groups, people will react to it, and that will create this reaction, this kind of like, fighting, and then once they reach power, those people will be, like, they will have no power anymore. That's what always happens. That's the playbook. And so, yeah, anyway, so that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's falling into the polarities, like getting into that emotional side of that. It's like, we do what we want to do. If you want to do that, just do it in the middle path, and it's fine. We don't need someone telling us that. I guess that was what I wanted to say, is this idea of inversion is a dangerous thing. Um, and to think, that we know, on this planet as third dimensional beings, like, we know what's right, this is the one, this is the true savior, this is not the savior. And it's just like, that's polarity. It's all polarity. We have to go to the middle path. We have to just see everything as a story that it is, and try to see the bigger picture and understand how everything works, rather than getting caught up in our emotions, because that's the whole point of what we're doing down here, is that we're trying not to get into our emotions. And T.T. Tracy say the tick-toxification of humans. Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. We're just calling out things. We're just using words. It's like, I had this like short story that I was kind of working on. It's called I forget the title of it, but it was about this group. Um, well, it was kind of like the near future, set in the near future, and there were these like communes sort of things that were kind of hard to get into, but so once you get into the commune thing, you'll start talking to people, and if you mention any of like the sensitive topics, the people in the commune will start singing Broadway tunes to you, and because they don't want to. Well, first, what happens is you bring up one of those topics. They first get anger in their eyes, and then they start. What's the word? Oh, and then there's a little bit of sadness, because there's a recognition, and then something clicks in their mind, and then they start singing Broadway tunes at the top of their lungs, and then everyone else in the camp that's also kind of in that world will sing Broadway tunes at the top of their lungs. Um, and it's kind of similar to that idea, where everyone now is just calling people names, and just like, what? We've forgotten how to communicate with each other. We've forgotten how to love each other, how to try to be understanding to each other. And that's where we're at, though. I mean, this has always been there too, but what's happening now is that it's being polarized more and more. And the reason it's being polarized, I mean, on the grander scale, the reason it's being polarized is to test us, to see if we're ready. Can we handle this? Are we gonna, are we just gonna go into our emotions and start screaming and or are we gonna try to see what's going on and try to see all the stories that are going on? So. And T.T. Tracy says, Oklahoma, never liked musicals too much. Yeah, I have to admit, I've never really been a musical fan. I like a few. I'm a bit, as if we get into singing, I like opera. I like Verdi. I like some Verdi operas and some Puccini operas and a few Mozart operas. And yeah, but I was, yeah, I'm more of an opera fan, I think. But I'm not really a big opera fan, I guess. I like, I kind of, over the top emotion is kind of hard for me to kind of, yeah. I like kind of more subtle emotional expression. Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about for some reason. This idea of inversion, and that this inversion idea is the same. It's the same thing, you know. This is one thing, and then this is the other thing upside down. But you know, it's just they're just mirror images of each other, you know. But so we always have to find that middle path. TT Tracy, love opera Puccini. Yeah, Puccini has such beautiful melodies. Such a beautiful melody writer. Yeah. So I don't think I wasn't able to kind of get my point across though, unfortunately. I think that the inversion is just a part of the control structure. Yeah, right. So if something's inverted, then you just assume that the opposite of that is the right way to do, but you're ending up just getting into the fight. It's just a control structure. Like whenever we start about thinking about what this is right, this is wrong, you know, then we're controlled, you know, and it's just like if you think about most wars, they're always, you know, who's lending the money, right? Where is the money coming from? And usually, like the money's being lent from the same lender, you know. And so it's just what's the word? Hegelian dialectics, where yeah, you just control both sides basically. Um, so who's lending the money? The banks are, right? That's where the money comes from. And so, yeah, and so for us not to fall into this kind of idea of war, for example, or of fighting each other, you know, we shouldn't. There's no reason there's a reason. We should be able to understand each other, even now, even when everyone is so polarized. We should be able to come together. You know, I grew up in a time when people were able to come together a lot more, you know, back in the 90s and even a little bit in the 80s, you know. People were able to, you know, we're able to talk through stuff, you know. And it's I believe it's possible now too. We should all be able to do it. We aren't so different as the world thinks that we are. We're all pretty much the same. We all want the same things. We all want to be respected. We all want to be loved. We all want the ability to, you know, make a living, to find our dreams, to, you know, yeah, I mean all of the things. I mean, we all want the same thing. It's just that it's being presented as something different, but it's not. It's all the same. We all want the same thing. We're all the same. We're all love. And I really think that we can all come together and talk and figure this stuff out and not be so swayed by all this polarity that's out there. So that was my message for today for some reason. uh, TT Tracy, if you keep humans confused, it's easier to control. Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Confused and in fear too, if we're afraid and if we're too busy, if we're forced to like work crazy hours all the time and have no time, you know, that's, you know, yeah. So, but yeah, that's what we're in though. We're in a great time. We're in the time of understanding all this stuff. So I'm going to go into a channeling and see if they have any advice for today. So here we go. Hmm. Greetings, we are Esmeralda, and we're here, and we're here, and we're here. And we're here to bring forth a message of love, and a message of peace, and also a message that, yes, these times on your planet are very, very polarized. You are in one of the most polarized times of your planet, one of them, of course. And what is happening now is that, yes, all of your triggers are being triggered, and that is, they are setting off well, all of the bombs that have not been set off yet. In the country that this being lives in, they have been discovering in his town bombs that have not been set off yet, that were dropped during World War II. They're discovering those bombs, and this is part of the process. This is part of the triggering process. First, they need to be discovered, and then they need to be set off, and then they need to be put away with. And that is how it works. So first you understand that there are these things that exist, these words or these ideas that will put you in an emotional trance state where you're not thinking, where you're in a fear state. And first, once you understand you're there, then it's time to set them off and to see how much of an explosion it is if those words are triggered, and then to let them go and to get rid of them. And that is the process that you're in. This is the process of realization, the process of the realization of all of the things that you are and all of the things that you aren't. Your images of yourself have been so different from who you truly are. They have been changed from who you truly are, what you truly are, and what the image that you are projecting out at this moment. There is a discrepancy between the two, and that is what is happening. You are being shown more and more who you truly are. And the only way to truly show you who you are is to give you a situation where you have to think, where you're shaken awake, a situation where you're shaken into emotion, a situation where you have to think outside of your normal bounds. And that is what is happening. All of you are being shaken up. You're being given these situations to help you to look more deeply into who you are and what you are. And these situations can be sometimes difficult, but that is the only way to get to you at times, because at times you are so stuck in your everyday routine that you don't even realize that you're stuck. And this is what happens. We allow this to happen so that you are given a chance. You're given a chance to see where you are and who you truly are. And that is what these times are. These are the times of shaking up, these times of shaking up your ideas, of your illusions, of your belief in things. Because understand that all the things that you see are not there. The only thing that is really there is love. Love is the only thing that is there. So if you start following more and more of the love that's in your heart, you'll find more and more reality in your world. Mm, mm. Yeah, that's interesting about the bombs. They've been discovering a lot of World War II bombs that had been dropped on my city, and also other cities too, like when they're just building a new building, or they're kind of taking down a parking lot to build a building, and they're like, oh look, here's a bomb from 70 years ago and it's still active. And so then they have to kind of pick it up and detonate it somewhere. But the timing is really interesting. So yeah, and I think that's very true, these triggers. Yeah. And you don't even realize it until you are triggered, and when you're in the emotional state and you think, oh my God, I thought I dealt with all this stuff. Like I had a concert yesterday, and there were some issues there with, yeah, and there were things that I thought I had dealt with completely, but I guess I wasn't. You think like, yeah, I can handle all these things. I understand all this stuff, and then you're getting like, oh, right. I completely forgot that kind of stuff. So yeah, concert went well. It was pretty good. We had almost a full house, and yeah, I mean, it was good. It was. I think the music itself, I think, went well. I think it was just the human interactions that were kind of complicated, but I was in a state of peace, and I was in a state of meditation the whole time. But I found that I was being taken out a bit of my neutral path. I think I was, in a sense, like triggered in certain ways, and I think that was good too, as well. And I had to do like forgiveness practice today, and which is good. It's always good to do forgiveness practice, and it's also good, I think, what I understood from yesterday was just like, we're all. I forget where I'm at, and I think that where I'm at is where everyone else is, and but some people are very much in a different place, and that's fine. The people can do whatever they want to do, and that's perfect for them. And like I just these past 4 years of craziness, they've changed my whole world. They've changed my whole life. And so to run into people that I've known from before, that there's absolutely no change, it's just like, what happened? How could you go through like one of the most intense periods of our human history, of our known human history, and just still not, you know, I don't know. So it was just, for me, it was a bit like shocking, and it shouldn't have been. And it's a judgment on my part as well to even think that, because it's everyone's got their own thing. And but I got to see myself in that situation, and I thought, oh, okay, so I'm still not completely okay with that. And that's good. It's good to know, and it's a good trigger. Oh wow, okay, I still haven't dealt with that idea that we're all in different places, and that's what makes the world go around. If that's what makes this world interesting. We're not all the same. We're all in different places. And I have a term for it. They're masters of the third dimension, is what I call them. People who are really good at like all the details of this third dimension, you know, about time and just everything about this third dimension. Like for example, like the educational system, like they could fit into it perfectly, and they do everything. They're just masters. They do perfectly within this third dimension. And I've never been a master of this third dimension. This third dimension just has always been perplexing to me. It doesn't make any sense. Like nothing makes sense. Why? Why do we have to do that? Why? What? But some people are just like masters of it. But what I found out though is that, so if the masters of the third dimension, they can sense when someone is kind of working from a different dimension, space cadets. And somehow with space cadets like myself, sometimes we do things differently, and we end up going different places, but we don't take the same route that the masters of the third dimension take. And so the masters of the third dimension are a bit wary of that. Well, how did they get to that point from A to B? They're supposed to take this point and this point and this point, and that person didn't take. So anyway, it's just a very interesting thing. But I've never been a master of the third dimension. I always thought it would be great to be a master of the third dimension, though. Just how easy life would be. You just go through life and everything makes sense to you, and just like, yeah, yeah. It's like, no, for me, it's never made sense. And I guess that's for me, that past few years it just woke me up to the fact that like, it's okay that the world doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense. It's completely and utterly, yeah, I can't say that word probably, but it's, screwed up. And that's what and it's being revealed to us how it is. And so I'm actually very happy about that. But yeah, so yeah, we're never really where you think we're, so far along down the line, and then like this situation happens. Oh, right. I'm still like in that state, and I still have to go into this forgiveness practice. And so it's good. It's good. TT Tracy says, tough as we want to drag all our friends and family along with us to new realities. Yeah, exactly, right? It's just like, come on. But one thing that was interesting yesterday, and it's been happening to me a lot recently, is that one of the, like an old friend, he came up to me, and he started talking to me about these experiences that he's been having, like spiritual experiences, like he's been seeing things. And I've known this guy for 20 years, and I never thought he would start talking about that. But like we rode the train home together yesterday, and he's just like, hey, Jason, I've been seeing things. And I'm like, wow, he's telling me this. This is so cool. This is like what I dreamed about, like being able to just talk to people like normally that I know out, and just talk about, and that's happening a lot more these days. So on the flip side, yeah, that's happening as well. Like, it's just like, wow, we're all kind of like, ascending. We're all kind of developing these abilities to see outside of the matrix. So that was also something really fun. Whew. Emery said, I don't understand Masters of the Third Dimension either. I love them, but I don't get them. Yeah, me too. And I don't think yeah, and exactly, they don't get me either, exactly. And that's okay. And I think it's just one of those things where we just have to kind of understand each other. Like, oh, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, and we're kind of in different places. They don't understand us at all either. They just think like, what are they doing? Like, I'm sure they're thinking about me. What is he doing? He's not doing anything. He's just sitting around. He's just meditating. And, by the same token, I might see, what are you doing? You're just going around in circles. But it's good. We do what we need to do. And that's good. And we got to love them and respect them for making their decisions I mean, it's not, I can't say we gotta, but I have to. I want to. Because holding on, like that's when I was doing my forgiveness practice today, I was realizing like I'm holding on to something that like it, it's just ruining my day in the morning when I'm doing my meditation. This is just my thing. It's not their thing. Whatever it is I'm holding on to, if I just let it go, it's all gone. It's just like, oh, okay, great. I love you. You know, you're good. You do your thing. I'll do my thing. So yeah, but definitely. Uh, so I'm gonna go into a pocket of peace. So today's pocket of peace is yeah, sending love out to all the masters of the third dimension and to everyone else out there and everyone who's the world is really changing in such a drastic way these days. There's so many things that are happening that are on the surface and also a little bit right below the surface, but and it's all really intense. It's an intense time to be alive, and so we'll just send out um Emery, you say my hubby thinks I'm so out there, but it's just normal to me. Yeah, exactly. So and we just understand each other and like, oh, we're all in different places, and you know it's good. It's good. I know all the people around me think I'm probably think I'm nuts, but it's good. you know Maybe I am. And I am to them. So, yeah. Right. So I'm going to go into Pocket of Peace, and I'm going to, we're just sending this out to all the people who are struggling right now. Everyone who's kind of struggling with financial issues, with emotional issues, with physical issues, with all the different issues that we have down on this crazy planet, especially now. People are dealing with the anger issues. I know a lot of people are dealing with that with all the information coming out, and it's just hard to handle all that information, and that hard to process. So to help everyone process it, so let's take a few deep breaths and imagine that you're in a place that makes you feel really, really relaxed. Whether that's at the beach or by the river or wherever it is that makes you feel relaxed and good. And just be in that place. And then allow the light of unconditional love to come in and surround you and remind you that you are made of love. You are made of love, to make love on this planet, to create love, and to be love, and to be a beacon of love so that other people can remember, oh, right, that's right, I'm love as well. That's what this whole beacon idea is, this whole lighthouse idea is. You just shine out to remind other people that they're the light and they're the love as well. And so we'll just kind of like expand this energy out, out into our rooms, into the space we're in, into all the highways and byways and riverways and oceans and skyways. And just remember that we are love incarnate, and this is unconditional. It loves you exactly as you are, and this love sets your heart ablaze, and so your heart is sending out this love all throughout the universe, all throughout the world, and it's traveling at the speed of love to all the people that need it and to you as well. And this love just extends itself, and the more it extends, the stronger it gets. The more love you give, the more love you get. By giving, you receive. By receiving, you give. And this is an amazing thing with love, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And now you see people all over the world, everyone who's suffering. All fear is gone, all sadness is gone, all pain is gone, all stories of fear and sadness are gone. We are free of all of that. And this love is so powerful. It's extending out throughout the world into all of the situations that are unfolding on our planet at the moment. We're just sending our love out into them so that they become more and more peaceful they don't have to happen without love. They can happen in a lovely way. Love, 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 lovely way. All stories of fear, all stories of sadness, all stories of anger are turning into love stories, stories of love. Yeah. And all pain is gone. All people. You might find yourself in a place with no hope, just wandering down a dark alleyway with no hope. But then all of a sudden you start to feel this love, and it comes into your heart, and you realize, you know what? I've got this thing. I've got this thing, because I've got the thing that I need. I've got the love, and I've got the hope, and that's all I need. Everything else will come because I've got the love, and I've got the hope. And this is what I've been searching for all throughout my life, through all these different relationships, through all these different places, through all these different jobs, occupations. I've been looking for it outside, but I remember. Now I remember. It's inside of me. That's right. I am the love. I am the goal that I'm searching for. It's inside of me. And now this dark alleyway that I'm in is no longer dark. It's filled with light. It's filled with love. I'm shining my light throughout this dark alleyway, so it's filled now with love and filled with hope. And the architecture of the alleyway turns into the architecture of hope and of love, and everything around me is just shining and beaming that love back to me. And now this alleyway is winding itself into an amazing road, a road that is leading me to my dreams, a road that is leading me to the place that I need to be. And all those stories of sadness and fear and anger out there are turning into stories of love, 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 love. And love is love, and love is love, and this is all. This is all we need, and this is all we need. All right, so there you go. That's Pocket of Peace for day 230. Hope you guys are hopeful. Sending out the love also to the masters of the third dimension as well, and to all of us space cadets and lighthouse beacons. Yeah, I hope you guys are hopeful, and hopefully see you all tomorrow. Thanks Anne-Marie and TT Tracy for joining in, and everyone else as well. This Pocket of Peace becomes stronger with your hope as well. So thank you for the hope, and I hope you guys are all hopeful, and see you all tomorrow if all works well. So ciao for now.